Hey guys, welcome back to episode 2 of my Out of the Park Baseball 24 Draft the Glory with the Kansas City Royals. And we're at the end of our first season, so we're going to do the offseason, which will really just consist of the Rule 5 and international amateurs. And then we will start simming the season. 73 and 89. We weren't great offensively. We weren't great from a pitching perspective. There are some building blocks on the offensive side. I think our top 4 hitters are all players we can build around. Our pitching staff is abysmal, and that's something that we're hopefully going to address, at least in part, in the Rule 5. Also drafted a couple of pitchers that seem to be developing nicely right out of the chute. Cameron Johnson was what round did we draft him in? Like the 5th? We used our 2nd round pick last season, and then our top pick was Hurston Waldrep, who started in A-ball, probably starting high A-ball this year. I don't want to rush him, but he is looking pretty tasty. I had a couple of comments regarding somebody that what was his name? It was, I think, Jason Guzman. Is that his name? I gotta find Jason. Let's find him. Apparently he was somebody who I missed, and he was... Yeah, what I was gonna say was that if he was still a free agent, I would sign him. But given that he's on another roster, I'll chalk it up to me not being too careful in my detail. So we're gonna go ahead and let him stand. And we have Bobby Witt at shortstop anyway, so I'm not super concerned about it. But thank you for bringing it up, guys. Like I said, if he was not in somebody's system, I would have brought him back to our minor league system. But let's get to it. Yeah, so we've got we've got arbitration, and there's really no reason not to offer all these players arbitration. We don't really have much money. And that's, not super surprising. I was thinking about when we did this with the Rangers a couple years ago. We ended up with, no contracts. I mean, there are players on this team, Hunter Dozier, that it might make sense to try to sell for cash. That's right. I have trade difficulty set all the way down, or not all the way down. I have it set in the middle, so it should be easier to land deals. But yeah, we got a couple of contracts that aren't great. We don't have a lot of money. Not that we need it for anything, but we don't have a lot of money for stuff, right? Just to dump into scouting and development and things like that. So we're gonna have to wait for some of these bad contracts to start to come off the books, and by that point we'll likely be paying Witt and Melendez and players like that bigger money, but that's fine. I'd rather pay them than pay the players that we're currently paying. Just get these offers in. Nicky Lopez. Can I put up 3 WAR? That's 5-5, so 5-2-5-0. What we end up doing, I think, is if somebody is going to leave and we don't have the money to pay them, just trade them for cash is probably the plan. I think we will also go to upcoming free agents, offer 4. So from a salary perspective, we've got some ARB eligible players. They're going to start to get expensive, but I mean, we need them. We need Brady Singer. We don't necessarily need Nicky Lopez, but he's probably worth more to us than the $1 million in cash or whatever we would get back from trading him. You know, Massey's okay with the glove, with the bat, not particularly good with the glove. Mikael Garcia is actually, I mean, he could be our starting second baseman. He was really bad in limited time last year, but the glove plays at second. But for now, it is what it is. I mean, we're not up against it. We don't have contracts that we're looking to we don't have players that we're looking to sign that we can't. So I don't need to necessarily worry about it right now. What we want to do though is improve fan interest. I don't know how we do that, given how bad we are. We'll bump ticket prices a quarter, bump to $23.25. Oh, we have to look at. I think did I do this offline or did I do? I think I did. No, it's not where I wanted to go. Yep. So we've got some players that we looked at. Juan Villa, 16-year-old starting pitcher. Changeup probably never develops. He's probably not really a starter, but Frank Romero, I like him. Kind of one of those high ceiling, low floor. No, other way around. High floor, low ceiling kind of guys. High work ethic, ground ball pitcher. That could be nice. Cerda, another guy, looks pretty good. Zambrano, looks really good, but again, that changeup probably doesn't develop. And then Lara. So if we could figure out a way to get Lara and Romero, I would be pretty happy with that. Let's run practice. And I don't know why it does this. It kicks them out every once in a while, but that's okay. All right, let's just start simming. You know, once we... And there's really nothing for us to do until we get up to the Rule 5. So, everybody signed. Let's make sure. I don't think we have any openings. I think we signed everybody. Yeah, we don't have any. What I do want to do though is do that. Offer so that I just don't forget to offer contracts because it will happen. It will happen. All right, Brady Singer signed his contract. We don't get fan interest bumps for any of them. We shouldn't take any fan interest hits because we aren't losing any of our players. Nicky Lopez wins the Gold Glove. Cool. I don't think we're going to have any awards. Bobby Witt wins. Oh, I forgot to turn this on. Oops. So Bobby Witt wins the Silver Slugger at shortstop. Justin Foscue is the Rookie of the Year. Man, I wish he had developed like that in my Cubs save. Never put up a season like that for us with the Cubs. Gunnar Henderson, Volpe, and Masa Yoshida. Brett Boone, Brian Snitker, Cy Youngs, Carlos Rodon, Brandon Woodruff, Aaron Judge, and Pete Alonso. Cool. All right. We'll take a... I mean, we know who's going to be there in free agency, right? I think we've all played enough out of the Park 24 to kind of, at this point, to kind of know who those year one free agents are. I like to look, however, at the international free agents so I can see who we won't sign. If there's a stud there, makes it painful, and that's kind of funny. Especially if you get a young guy, like, you know, this is a draft series. Like this guy, I mean, he's really good. He's 29, but, you know, we can't sign him. Ismael Urbina looks okay, but we can't sign him. So we're just going to go ahead and delete all that because we can't look at any of it. Let's go ahead and sim up to the Rule 5. Cardinals want to trade us Alec Burleson and Ivan Herrera. If this was a live sim, I would be jumping all over this. Burleson's got a pretty good bat, and Ivan Herrera's a pretty decent defensive catcher. If this were a normal playthrough, I would be jumping all over that. So we're going to be bad again this year. I think our pitching staff is likely to be made up of lottery results. We moved from 8 to 6. Okay, that's good. I'll take that. I will take that. We got to go back into scouting. So it was Lara. And is it Vargas? No. Romero. I know that was those were the two main ones that I was looking at. Villa's good, but the changeup doesn't develop. More than likely. Ignatius Schindewolf. That's a great name. Changeup doesn't develop though. Zambrano's good, but again, the changeup probably doesn't develop. Really, I mean, there's nobody else here that... Cerda looks good, but again, because he wants 2.2, if I go after him, I'm likely dumping my entire budget into him, and I don't really have any interest in doing that. So I think we just... We go after Lara and Romero, and it's not what I wanted to do. Lara and Romero, and yeah, call it a day. 1.3, 1.4. As it stands, we're likely not. Although Romero's league interest, if it stays low, we might be able to get him for 1.4. But then Lara, we may not be able to get. So I don't know how it's going to work out, but we'll see. Let's just sim up to the Rule 5 now. Anybody we need to put on? Yeah, I mean, may as well put some of these players on there, right? We're going to need them. We're going to need some of these guys, I think, this upcoming season. I don't suspect Cepeda gets taken. So we got 4 spots on our 40-man. I mean, let's just say, I mean, there are obviously plenty of players here that we can DFA if we need to, but let's see what's on. Let's see what's in the Rule 5. Pitching potential. That's my primary focus. Jose Ferrer. Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of names here. Just want to make sure we're taking them in the right order in case somebody else decides to jump in. Let's grab Caleb Killian because we definitely need additional starters. Carlos Duran, but our scouting accuracy on him is low, which doesn't help. Ferrer is a lefty ground ball guy. Yeah, we could take Jose Ferrer. So I thought we'll take one more pitcher, and then I'll come back and I'll take a look at Peyton Battenfield. Could be a starter. He was really good. Let's go with Battenfield. Now let's look at batters. Because I think we have one more spot on the 40. But we don't have to... Jose Siri? Who's our starting center fielder at the moment? Isbell, right. And we can move Isbell to left because Tucker Bradley was rushed. Yeah, let's get Jose Siri. Cool. Is there anybody else we have to have? I don't think so. Edison Paulino doesn't look terrible. No, we'll start there. Willie Calhoun. Jonathan Clase turned into a stud in one of my... I think it was maybe in the White Sox playthrough. It was either the White Sox playthrough or the Cubs playthrough. He turned into a monster. Yeah, I think we're good with that. Let's complete the draft. So we get Caleb Killian, Jose Ferrer, Peyton Battenfield. All 3 of them are listed as starters. Ferrer probably becomes a reliever, though, with his 35 stamina, but the other two I could see as starters. All right, we added a bunch of pitchers. We now have 17 pitchers on our roster. And I think I am going to stay away from signing free agents from independent ball, I think. So I think we're just going to go with Rule 5, Rule 4, international, and call it a day. So speaking of international, let's get to that. We'll get to January. I'll do one more training. Then we'll get to internationals, and then we'll get the season started. Serda, very strong relationship, average league interest. He looks really good. But Lara, man, he's not a center fielder, obviously, with that glove, but that bat's going to be hard to pass up. All right, let's get up to international amateurs, and then we'll figure it out. Gene Segura. Thank you, but no thank you. All right, let's do this. So, Cerda, Romero, and Lara. Those are like our three main targets. What am I doing? All players. 94 to 96, low intelligence. Lara, high work ethic, 70, 75, 75. And I feel like we have to go after Lara. But the league interest is very high, which means we're probably dumping our entire budget into him. What is our budget? It's 4.75. Yeah, everybody's 4.75. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? Romero. I like Romero. OSA doesn't like him as much as us. We scouted him on 1/1 of 24. They scouted him on 1/15 of 24. So they actually scouted him before, after us. What about Cerda? Same thing, but ratings are similar. And then Lara. I think we go Lara. I think we're going to go Lara. We're just going to go after the big guy. We're going to offer him 3.5. Let's see how that... I got a bug in here. I think I just got it. No, I didn't. All right, let's see. I didn't mean to clap into the microphone. That was really bad streamer. That was a bad content creator. Sorry about that. All right, yeah. So Lara's going to require the entirety of it, and that's fine. I kind of knew that was going to happen. Get Detroit and Pittsburgh going all out here in the early going. All right, so we got Lara. Frank Lara, 6'1", 165-pound center, well, left fielder. In fact, let's just go ahead and do that now. Make him a left fielder. Cool. All right, nothing we really need to do other than sim up to opening day at this point. So I'm going to pause for a brief second, and we'll come back at opening day, and we will, oh, good, our owner raised our budget. And we're going to put all that right into scouting and development. So, yeah, I'm going to sim ahead to opening day. And we'll set the rosters. Brandon Woodruff was 20-3 last year. And we will get Season 2 underway. So hang tight. I'll be right back. All right. Let's get to it. So, yeah, this is going to be, kind of a hop, skip, and a jump, as they say. We'll set the lineups. And I'm going to then sim ahead to the draft, and then we'll sim again. So some of these comebacks, as it were, might be a little quick. So we have 39 players on our roster, including 21 pitchers. So we got to send a bunch of them down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gets us to 14. We still need to send one more down. Who's it going to be? Lynch, but we need him to be a starter. Ferrer, I think it's going to be Bolin. Yeah. All right, so there, yeah, I mean, our starting pitchers, Lynch was bad, so he's going to go to the bullpen, I think. But Kowar and Battenfield, excuse me, I stumble over my my words. Killian wasn't particularly good. We'll make him our number 5 guy, and we'll run with these this as our starting rotation. What does it want to do from a bullpen perspective? Carlos Hernandez as our closer. Yeah, I mean, he saved 36 games for us a year ago. Ferrer will come in as our setup man. I mean, he could be pretty good. He's not going to strike a lot of guys out, but he might get, might be able to pitch some decent innings with some ground ball, double play type. We're super left-handed heavy. That's weird. It's all right. 31. So we're going to send 5 hitters to the minors. So it will be Eaton, 2, 3. Actually, do we need to keep Eaton? No, we don't. Do we want to send Garcia back down? I think so. Prado can't really play third, but he can play third enough. We've got Diego Hernandez, who's really good defensively. Tucker Bradley, who we rush. I think we sent Tucker Bradley down. Hernandez isn't as good a bat, but he's a better glove. Better defensively for us. I think we still have to send one more down. Yeah, we still have to send one more player down. It's Garcia or Prado? I think it's Prado. Or I think it's Garcia, rather. Right? No, it's gotta be Prado because we need the glove of Garcia. Let's clear the lineups. Clear the depth charts. And set our lineup. Bobby Witt is our number 3 hitter. Pasquantino. Isbell. Or do we do it like that? It doesn't really matter. We're going to have lefty-lefty anyway. So let's go lefty-lefty, righty-lefty. Our number 5 hitter. Going to be Dozier, our DH. No, I think Massey's our DH. At least, I don't know. I mean, Dozier's the better bat, especially against lefties. I think Perez will be our 5. I need this contract to go away really soon. Second base is going to be Lopez. Lofton will be 3rd. Then we need a center field, which is Jose Siri. So we got Siri, Lofton, Lopez. We just need to figure out who our DH is. I think we go Massey against righties, and then we'll go Dozier against lefties. So then Lofton. I think we'll do that. It's not a bad defensive team, frankly. Sal Perez is a really good catcher. Nicky Lopez is elite. Bobby Witt's really, really good at short. And our outfield's fantastic. Isbell, Siri, and Melendez. I guess Melendez's range is dipped a bit, but has the arm. It's not bad. Of course, we didn't do any of it. It's just all here already. So against lefties, we go with Dozier at DH. Pasquantino. He can hit lefties fine. Melendez can hit lefties fine. And he can't hit either side. I kind of feel like going with Garcia at second base. May as well let the kid develop. Yeah, Fermin is honestly kind of the... I mean, he's supposed to say he's the future. He's 28. But, I mean, he's got a better... Almost has a better bat than Lopez... than Perez at this point, but... All right, so there's our big league team. Let's get to opening day. Yeah, we went 8-17-3 in spring training. Not good. We have the number 6 pick in the draft. Remember, the first, I think, 3 drafts in Out of the Park 24 are not great. Draft number 1 isn't terrible, but draft 2 is kind of meh, and draft 3 is really bad. Top 100 prospects. Frank Lara, the guy we picked up in international signing, is the number 2 prospect in the game. Our minor league system right now ranks 7th. We have 2 in the top 100. We've got Lara and Waldrop, whose ratings dropped a little bit already. That ain't good. Hopefully we get a rebound there. Yes, we have two prospects in the top 100. What do we want to do? Do we want to move anybody around? Sarantola, we'll start him in Double-A just because he struggled in Double-A last season, but he's probably on the roster next year. Wilson can probably go up. Kurdna, let's disable his promotion. He looks like he could be a help next season. Cross will move up to Double-A. Waldrop will stay there. Jensen will stay there. Ben Hernandez's ratings just went up, so we will disable and call him up. And everybody else kind of stays where they are. Christian Little. Yep. I think we move Little up. The ratings, the stats weren't there, but I think the ratings suggest that he'll be okay. So, all right. We're getting ready for year number 2. I'm going to go ahead and sim up to the draft and keep our fingers crossed, and hopefully we aren't abhorrently bad. We will see. I'll talk to you in July. All right, let's do that draft. Before we get to the draft, though, let's look at the team. We've cratered. We have absolutely cratered. We're 34-55, and it's going about as we would have anticipated it would have gone. Our pitching staff is abjectly awful. Our offense has had some good moments. But in the end, we're just a really, really bad team. Man, we sold a bunch more season tickets, but because we're playing so badly, no one's coming out to watch us. Yeah, from an offensive perspective, Bobby Witt's having another solid season for us. Nick Pratto got a nice a bump to his overall and his potential, and we stuck him in the starting lineup, and he's given us some pop. 262, but an 860 OPS, 137 OPS plus. Nicky Lopez again doing it with his glove. Pasquantino's been pretty good. He's terrible defensively, so there's no, it's hard to judge his WAR because he's strictly a DH, but he's on pace for 20 home runs, which is fine. MJ Melendez has taken a definite step backwards this year, still on pace for nearly 30 home runs and 90 RBIs, but average is down 80 points. On-base percentage is down 120 points. Slugging is down 120 points. So it's definitely been a step backwards for him. Isbell's been bad. Yeah, I mean, most of our offense has been bad. We got a couple of good performers, but that's it. And then pitching-wise, it's scary to look at. It truly is. Peyton Battenfield, one of our Rule 5 guys, has been our best pitcher in terms of WAR at 1.2. But it's been really bad across the board. Jose Ferrer has been bad. He was our other Rule 5 guy. Carlos Hernandez, I guess, has been the lone bright spot, our closer. But other than that, it's been awful. From a prospect perspective, Luca Tresh in AAA, hitting the ball pretty well. Probably comes up next season. Eric Sarantola having a pretty nice season in AA. 101 strikeouts in 79 innings. He probably gets the call up to AAA here this season. In fact, let's bump him up now. He's only a 35 overall. That bothers me. I need to see that overall come up. We'll move him up. but we won't call him up. Ben Kurdna. Kuderna. Someone will have to tell me. He got a nice bump as well. I don't know that he's ever going to be a stud, but for a winning team, that's not a bad number 5 starter. Hasn't been particularly good in Double-A, but we'll see what happens there. Gavin Cross hitting pretty well. He's on pace for 40 home runs in Double-A, so he probably gets a shot next season. We have Luinder Avila, who just recently got bumped to a 45. Carter Jensen, I just called up to high A, and he's raking. Again, he's never going to catch well enough to be a starting catcher, but he might be a bat. Ben Hernandez, I think, got a bump as well. A slight bump in his potential last season. He looks all right. Some good and some bad. In A-ball, we'll start with the bad. Hurston Waldrop is down to a 35-45. He's been really up and down so far, so I'm hopeful that we'll see another bump in the control here. You can see he was as high as 45. It's now down to a 35. He hasn't been... How's he done? And he's been okay, I guess. 115 strikeouts. He's just walking way too many, so we'll take our time with him. But on the good side, Christian Little is starting to improve. Yeah, the trajectory is nice there for Christian. Probably not an ace, but if he ends up at 65, 50, 50 with 3+ pitches, it's a pretty solid number 2 or 3. Cameron Johnson has been all right this year, striking out 50 in 35 innings. Still need to see that changeup develop, but again, all the personality traits that we're looking for are there. So Lara hasn't really seen any development yet, and we DFA'd Hunter Dozier because he was angry and he's been bad and he's just awful. So I'll probably just cut him, and I don't think he's popular or anything. So yeah, we won't take a fan interest bump there. So it's kind of how things are going. So let's get into the first year player draft. We are picking 6th. Let's just go ahead and pick up to our pick. Let's look and see what happens. He had Victor Rodriguez as the top pick, Derek Fabian, Derek Curiel, Tommy White, looks like a pretty well-developed third baseman, and Will Taylor, who we've taken in, I think it was the Cubs. Was it the Cubs? I don't remember. Anyway, it's our pick. Let's see what is available here at number 6. Is this the draft that has... No, I was thankful. I was thinking this was the draft that had like Papano and all of the 2A pitchers, but nothing else. I think that's the next draft. All right, so we've got, these are some names that we're all very familiar with. I've been burned by them so often in the past, but I may take another run at some of these names. What is our... It's not where I wanted to go. What is our draft budget set at? $11 million. Okay, so we have enough money to draft one of these bigger names. We could go Theo Gillen, who's not really a shortstop. We could go Medugno, $1.5 million for Andre, with the hope that he develops. Again, he's not really a third baseman with those ratings. He's a passable outfielder. Could probably play... he can play left, can probably play right, can play first, can play third, corner outfielder kind of guy. Or we could take a run at Mullinax. He wants 8.5 though. Who does the OSA? The OSA thinks we should take, or our scout thinks we should take Medugno. That's probably the way I'm leaning. Pfeiffer looks like a pretty good starting pitcher at age 18. I don't like the low work ethic. Tristan Bristow, he might not be a bad pick in the second round if he's still there. Yeah, there are a couple decent pitchers here, but Austin Nye's impossible. Chase Mobley is somebody I like taking. He's expensive, $7 million. Yeah, there are some decent pitchers here. But I think we're going to go Medugno. It's just so hard to pass up that 70 contact, 65 gap power, 75 home run power. Like, you know, if that's what he ends up as, what? Well, his potential contact just dropped from a 70 to a. Wait, no, that's I. It's dropped from a 70 to a 55. His contact has gone from an 80 to a 70. His power has gone from an 80 to a 70. We scouted him in June. OSA scouted him in April. What about Mullinax? His ratings have stayed pretty steady. Just a small potential dip with our last, right, with our last scouting. And it's just his overall potential. The bat has stayed. The eye went up. I just don't know that this version of Mullinax with that glove is a center fielder. I don't think he is. I think we're going to take Madugno and hope that the bat develops. Yep, that's what we're going to do. We're going to take Andre Madugno and hope that the bat develops. Let's head to our next pick. A lot of those bats are gone, which is not a surprise. Let's take a look at pitchers. So Bristow's still there. Chase Mobley. We might be able to take a flyer on someone. Well, I don't know. Movement's not great. I mean, high work ethic is awesome, but Austin Nye, he's not right. He's an impossible sign. Jonathan Santucci. I mean, you know, really, really low ceiling, high floor kind of guy. Already 40, 40, 40. He's from Leominster. I bet most of you would have pronounced that Leominster. It's Leominster, for those of you non-New Englanders out there. Went to Duke. I'm kind of liking Bristow. 30, 25, 30. 3 pretty good pitches. OSA even likes him even more. Had a stuff drop in 2023. Ultimately settled at the end of the rotation. Yeah, these first couple of drafts are tough because we're going to take Bristow. Just because they're just not, once you start getting into like all the fake players, like that's when you start getting like the really, really good. Like I would love to take Austin Nye, but he's impossible. Just a killer changeup. And I don't think we'll have enough to sign him, frankly. We can try it with like a 5th round pick if he's still there, maybe. CJ Backer looks okay. We'll take CJ Backer here in the 3rd round. Or do we take Max Debiek? Debiak? Debiek? Someone's going to have to tell me how to pronounce these. 55, 45, 45, 3+ pitches. Versus Backer. Fly ball pitcher, 89 to 91. I think he's got a little bit more development. He wants more money, though. Backer only wants $75,000. It's something I'm trying to factor into this. Or we could go Bradley Farrell. He looks like he's got more upside. He wants $3.4 million, which I'm not crazy about. Ryan McPherson. OSA likes him. He's got the high work ethic. Okay, he wants. Yeah, we'll do that. I'm okay with that. Nice. If Nye there in the 5th round, I'm gonna take him. So let's see what we've got for batting potential left. Brady Davis is a pitcher. I know he's a pitcher. Decent enough bat. What does he want? 150K. That's not a bad option. You take Owen Pyle. Yeah, I think we're going to take Pino here. OSA likes him more than us, but that's a decent second baseman. We'll take Pino. It's a little bit more than Slot, but I think that's okay. Cade Arambide. Arambide? He's an impossible. All right. Is he still there? Austin Nye is still there. Let's take him. Let's take him here in the 5th and see what that impossible demand is and just kind of go from there. Henry Allen, high work ethic. Orlando, good bat. Terrible defensively. Let's pencil in Henry Allen. And let's look at fielding ratings. I think we'll take Allen with this pick, and if Jaden Melendez is there with the next pick, we'll take him. He is. All right. Outfield range. Low work ethic. Cameron Davis. I'll take Cameron Davis. I don't suspect that he'll develop. He usually doesn't. But maybe this is the year. Good glove, good speed, decent enough power, home run power, eye and discipline. Infield range. Ooh, not a lot left. Not a lot left. Individual pitch potential. No knuckleballers. No, we got Logan Jones. Take a run at some of these guys. Jake Faraday, sure. Tyler Dean. If either the movement or the control were like a 50, that's a pick I would be happy to make. Ty Bothwell. He's 24 years old already. Boucher. Jack Crowder looks okay. Went to UIC. Jojo Ingracia. That's a name, man. Unfortunately, he's not very good. Angel Lopez, we can take him. Carlson Reed, no. Low work ethic. Caleb Strack. He's terrible, though. A good personality, but just terrible. Owen Wild. 3 great pitches. Doesn't know where any of them are going, but 3 great pitches. Vinny Bianchi. Ugh. Think I've about had it. Can he actually pitch? No. Low work ethic, low work ethic, low work ethic. Elijah Lambros, sure. I'll take a couple of catchers here. Could use some decent defensive catchers in our system, and some of these guys don't look terrible. Those 2 guys didn't look awful. What do we got from Ethan Anderson? Yeah, he looks good. High work ethic, sure. Okay. We'll draft 3 straight catchers towards the end of the draft. That'll work. And we'll let the AI do the last 4 picks. I'm good with that. All right, so what does Austin Nye want? Significantly above 8. We should have the money to do that. I mean, let's do this. Let's see where we stand after we offer all these guys their money. So we have $10 million left. Is $9 million significantly higher than 8? I guess we'll find out. All right, so let's just sim. I'll sim here with you guys for a minute, and we'll see if we get an answer from 9. We'll see if $9 million is considered significantly higher than 8. Did we get an answer? Tristan Barstow signed his. Dugano signed his. Let's go in here real quick with our top 2 picks and lock them down. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. He tends to never develop, but we will see. I gotta figure out what to do with Dozier. Does anybody want him? Okay, so there are teams that are willing to take on his contract. So let's do Colorado. We'll take Meneses out of there. Will you take $1 million for him? No. Will you take $500,000 for him? Can we get international signing money for him? Why can't I not get to that screen? I'm going to try to trade him. See if I can get international signing. Why is that not... Do I have... Is that an option I have off? Let's see. International amateur cap trading. I've got some. I'm not sure why it won't let me trade it. I can only do it during the off season, maybe? All right. Well, I'm either going to try to trade. I'm either going to trade him, or I'm going to, or I'm just going to cut him. Yeah, I'm not willing to give up any of these players. All right, we're just going to cut him. We're just going to go ahead and release him. We'll eat the money. It's fine. And I'm going to go ahead and sim, guys. We're going to get to the end of the season, and we will review year number 2. So I will be back in just a moment. All right, guys, we're back. It's the end of the season, and we finished 80 and 82. It was quite a run down the stretch for your Kansas City Royals. You can see once we got into July, we were one of the best teams in the American League. What's that? 32, 52, and 31. 52 and 31 in the second half of the season. Yeah, we were one of the best teams in baseball in the second half of the season. We got some really, really nice development from some of our young players. I'm super excited about next year and kind of going forward. We still don't really have, an ace. Well, it looks like we're going to have a lot of number 2 and 3 starters coming up here in the next couple of years. Let's start with the offense, and Bobby Witt Jr., just an absolutely ridiculous season. 8.5 WAR, 190 hits, 29 home runs, 97 RBIs, 35 stolen bases. He was elite. Nick Pratto, once he got that bump, he got that talent bump at the beginning of the season, and he raked this season. Raked for us. 26 home runs, 77 RBIs. Put up an 874 OPS. Sal Perez, 26 home runs. He was really good. MJ Melendez picked it up towards the end of the season. Still wasn't quite as good as he was last year, but picked it up. Picked it up towards the end of the year. Nicky Lopez. Yeah, and then from there it was pretty bad. We called up... Well, hang on a second. We called up Luca Tresh at the... at roster expansion, and I made him our everyday DH over the last month of the season, and he hit. He hit 350 on base, 414 slugging. I don't know that he's going to hit enough, but he hit this year. And that was about it. His bill was really bad. Hoping he bounces back next season. But yeah, still a couple of last year we didn't talk about Nick Pratto as a building block, but I think he's there. So Witt, Pratto, Melendez on our big league roster, Isbell if he can hit a little bit better. Pitching perspective, yeah, again, it still wasn't terrific, but Battenfield wasn't bad as a Rule 5 guy. Gave us 158 innings, 2.7 WAR. Carlos Hernandez was really, really good as a closer, 2.16 ERA plus. Jackson Kowar, a sub-4 ERA. He was really good, still making the minimum, so that's important. But yeah, our pitching staff is still really bad. Jose Ferrer got a huge bump to his development, so I'm expecting big things from him as we go forward. But yeah, you can see he spiked in June of this season, which is terrific. From a prospect perspective, I can't put him on the roster, but Sarantola got another bump in July, so he's looking pretty good. He was really good in AAA this year, so I think he starts next season in our rotation. A ground ball pitcher with 2 great pitches, good stuff, good movement, passable control. Gentry had a down season compared to last year, but he'll probably be vying for a spot next season. Gavin Cross, 35 home runs in AA. He probably starts in AAA. Kurdna, he continues to get better. He'll probably start in AAA next season as a 21-year-old. Diaz, closer, looks pretty good. In fact, let's lock down his AI. Carter Jensen, the bat's really coming along. He hit 47 home runs between A and high A ball last year. So, yeah, I mean, maybe the bat does stick. Who knows? Avila, another young pitcher. Avila, all 4 of these guys are going to have to go on the 40-man this season. So we are going to have to start to make some decisions, which is fine because we can start to move on from some of these 25s and 30s we have on the 40-man roster. Diego Guzman, meh. Klein, that control's rough, but fastball, curveball, good stuff, good movement. Probably give him a shot. Christian Little had a nice season in A-ball. We'll start next season in high A. Shane Panzini also got a nice bump here recently. Waldrop, our first-round pick last year, just it's not there for him. Have to hope that control comes along. He probably starts in high A-ball next year just because of his age and his stuff and movement. We have to just hope that control ends at a 40. Mazzucato is another pitcher who's coming along. Was hurt most of the year, made 5 starts at the end of the season, looks okay. Madugno's ratings haven't started to dip yet, so that's reason for optimism. Bristow was our second-round pick, wasn't particularly good. Johnson was our second-round pick last year. Got a full season in, wasn't great. Still looking for that change-up to develop. Nye, we did sign him. He was the impossible guy. And he wasn't bad. Wasn't bad in a handful of starts as an 18-year-old. Man, I hope that changeup ends up as an 80. The high work ethic, he looks really good. So, all in all, not a bad second season. We're probably going to end up with, we ended up with revenue per game up because we started playing well. We are going to we don't have any decisions to make. I mean, I guess technically our payroll jumps by $20 million. Do we trade Singer for cash? Do we trade Lopez for cash? I don't know. Maybe we trade them for international money. That might not be a bad idea. Bobby Witt is going to start to get expensive. We may see if we can sign him long-term right now and just get him locked down for like the next 8 years or something. So we may have some stuff like, Singer and Lopez and frankly Bubic for that matter, but at least Singer and Lopez, these guys aren't going to be around when we're good. It's going to be another 3 years before we're really competitive. So if we can trade Singer, we can trade Lopez, that may be something we do. Neither of them are popular, so we don't have to worry about fan interest there. So next episode will be the offseason. Might be interesting. Let's just look. Is he interested in signing a long-term contract? Like if we offered him 8 years and we gave him 8, 12 and a half... That's $125 million. I'm sure he would take that. 17.5. Something bizarre like this. Would he do something like that? No, he wouldn't. Okay, so we may have to wait a while, but that will be obviously a priority for us is getting Bobby Witt signed long term. But that'll be next episode, guys. So that will do it. We're 2 years in, and there's been some improvement already. We went 73 and 89 a year ago. We went 80 and 82 this season. We outplayed our Pythag both seasons. We've got some young talent that's starting to make their way into the big league team, and we'll see how it goes in year 3. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. Drop the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, leave a comment, all the stuff, episode 2, algorithm, blah, 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 blah. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to everybody soon. Bye-bye.